So I made it to downtown Fort Myers, and we're going to look around here and see how these business owners are going to make it. And why I'm making this video is because congratulations to the United States, to all of us, because we just had the worst month in history since like 2010. I think only COVID had the similar amount, where we only created 12,000 jobs in one given month. And if they're going to adjust it down, we've created 0 jobs. So this is absolutely detrimental to see how bad we were actually doing. And as I told you guys before in many of my other videos, that we are going to see that these people, that these companies are going to wait till after the election to kind of make a decision on what is it going to go. Is it going to be another 4 years, how these 4 years went? Or are we going to have a different 4 years with a different president, right? So we're going to see how this is all going to go down. This election has to decide on is this going to be a referendum on Biden? Because Biden was kind of like a referendum on Donald Trump. So this is kind of how other people in the politics kind of talk, right? So let's see over here. Look at that. So there is businesses, and these used to be all kinds of businesses right around here. And this is not like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, everything's bad. No, this is just that you got to rebuild it, and you got to figure out, is it worth to rebuild it for all these people? Because you gotta think about it this way, from an investor perspective and from a small business owners, you do not have the capabilities of filing bankruptcy and then just restarting it, because in the world that we live in for small business owners, small people like me or most of my viewers, if we file for bankruptcy, it's going to have a lasting amount on our credit report. And what a lot of people don't understand is when you rent places, like all over here or over there, whatever you see, is you got to sign a personal guarantee. And now you'd be like, what does that mean? It's like, if you're going to go and try to get financing or anything else, is you got to get a personal guarantee. So when you see these gurus online saying, oh, just get out a loan on your LLC, they want a personal guarantee. Nobody is going to just sign your LLC over a huge loan and say, hey, we're going to give the LLC, give the loan to LLC, and then in 6-7 months, the LLC goes up in flames, and you're like, haha, didn't catch me. No, it's going to catch everybody. And so now we're at the beach, and you see how everything kind of is destroyed from this storm, the last one, the palms. Some of the palms are dead. And now all this used to be houses. All this used to be, and I don't know how much was from the last storm, but they've been flooded out twice now in a few years. So this used to be another house on here. And you can see all these palm trees couldn't last the storm. And this used to be another like restaurant. And I used to come down here when I lived here all the time, but you just can't do it. You just can't do it. It's just too expensive. And I'm glad that they're still getting business right over there, that they still can stay in business. But all this stuff, how many times are you gonna redo it? So all these palm trees, and palm trees like that aren't cheap, I'm telling you. Palm trees like that, if that would have been in Las Vegas, would be $1,000. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that's 20,000 that just went. And yeah, this is pretty nice with the music. But yeah, $20,000 in just palm trees that you got to replace. And maybe in Florida you get them way cheaper. But yeah, here, it's just brutal. And yeah, so you can see there's still activity. But on a typical years ago, you could never ever be down here at this time on a Saturday and not see a gazillion people out. So let's walk around here and walk down this other side to see how it's going. But this is just crazy. And this is almost where it's peak season, where all the snowbirds come down. And yeah, so if your store got flooded and you couldn't reopen, or you couldn't get another securement, they have to rebuild it, you just kind of get a trailer, and hopefully you can just get your shop back going with your trailer, so you can kind of make some money, and hopefully you can get some income going. But this kind of fits the no job created, because there's just all these stores are empty. Every store in here used to have 10, 20, 30 employees, because that's what it needs during peak times, right? And now we're seeing they're all closed. And this is not just Florida, this is just the mall life in general. So all these employees are now, what are they doing? Taking unemployment, doing other stuff? You gotta figure out to do something, because it's just, you can't keep continuing on like this. And yeah, some of it might have to do with Amazon, but a lot of it is just politics, who you vote for, how business friendly, and how much regulations you put on. And now people say, oh, we need an environmental regulations. Yeah, I give you that. But everything else, the fees to get going, it's just insane. Insurance, electricity, just the bare minimums. Then there's cash register associations where you gotta have your cash register certified and all this other stuff. And this one also. So this one's also open, but this one over here is not. So then you gotta get the scale calibrated. That's gonna cost you money. Then you gotta send all these permits and everything to open up. Then it has to be a specific zone. So then we get into the zoning laws, where the zones are just a scam too. And yeah, look at that. Garage closed. Yeah, so all this stuff is just not operational. And yeah, when you're thinking about it, and you're like, man, who's gonna take on that risk? Because I tell you one thing, for me as a business owner, I do not have money just to give employees. Unfortunately, I don't have that much. And would I rent now a spot like this, like this one? I don't think I can. I just don't have it in the budget to not make a profit. And people say, oh, business owners, they make enough money. Depends which industry. If you're Amazon, if you're Salesforce, and you're a huge conglomerate, yeah, Calvin Klein, all these other ones, but even those are filing for bankruptcies. So end of the day, you're letting people go because you can't make it. So now, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Look at all these stores. Look at all these stores. Can't do it. You can't do it. And now I'm asking you, as if you're in hard times, do you have time to buy souvenirs, stuff like this? I sure don't. And it's not even that expensive. It's $12 a shirt. You get something from the place you went to vacation on. It's pretty nice if you ask me, but I don't have it in the budget, and I don't think most of you guys either. According to the comments that I'm getting from you guys are all saying that, hey, I'm not going on vacation. I'm not doing stuff. I'm just trying to make it to the next month without going belly up. And so, yeah, look at that. Rain, drain, all that kind of stuff is just fell. So, yeah, it's devastating. This is absolutely devastating. When you used to come here, and this used to be Saturday, peak time, it used to be packed. You would rub shoulders just walking to the beach. And now it's just not working, because people don't have the money. People don't have a job, and so they're living on unemployment. And in the state of Florida, everybody told me that, hey, the website is absolutely crazy. So what do? You stay home. You drink your beer from Walmart. You get it at Walmart and you're done. And so, yeah, it is. Yeah, you just gotta, every dollar you save is gonna be a dollar that you need to go, that you can buy food with. And it's just like that. Now it's like, it's so crazy to me, because in 2019, people were paying $20,000, $30,000 over asking price on cars. And I told you guys, don't do it. And now those $20,000, $30,000 you've paid would have been real nice and handy to buy food, groceries, pay rent, pay off some credit cards, or do something else. But no, you guys were so trigger happy to just kind of pull the trigger on all of these fancy items and kind of make the world go crazy. Look at that. Everything is just kind of broken, and you gotta repair it. And either you rebuild it or you leave. Those are the two options. And a lot of people said they're not going. But I'm telling you, these people, the only person that's making money is the guy who's working on it and putting up the drywall, the handyman, because you can't keep rebuilding. I know it sounds crazy, but at one point it just doesn't make financial sense. You just can't do it. So yeah, look at that. Look at all of this rebuilding. Yeah, and then another question is, how many little shops with surfing equipment and surfing gears does a small little downtown area like this is gonna need? So when you're gonna look at it, it's like, how many? 10, 20, 30, 40? Because the people aren't coming. So if the people aren't coming, there's no room for that, because then it's going to be a price war between this guy, the next guy down, and everybody else, because they want the cheapest prices to get the people in, because they're hurting in their wallets. And a lot of people from up north, from Canada, from Michigan, and snowbirds come down here. But they're saying they can't because everything's destroyed. As you see, a lot of stuff isn't here. Then it got so expensive. It used to be that this area right here was an affordable place to come to and spend the Saturday afternoon, a Sunday, and you went home and it didn't cost you an arm and a leg. On the drive up here, I saw that it's $70 a day for parking. I was like, $70 a day, holy smokes. This is more expensive than seeing a hooker. I'm honest, you can't pay $70 to come to this. Like, really? And they're pumping the sand now. So they're pumping the sand, as you can see here. They start pumping sand, and the bridge is broken, everything. Everything is just no pets allowed, use at your own risk. And yeah, they're working right there, trying to repair the beach for the next storm. So it's like a constant, it's job creation. Yeah, this is job creation. When you're gonna move the sand from one side to the other, let me zoom in for you guys. And that is job creation, but $70 for parking, I've paid here. So I don't know if they have parking enforcement here or not, but it is $5 on public street, $5 an hour. And then there was a tax on it, so I had to pay like $5.60 for an hour for my 20-minute video, because it's just too expensive to get a ticket, and they're gonna come after you. I know they are, because they need the money, they're hurting. All this stuff is tax revenue that's gone, right? They used to have all these places used to be popping, great stores, great little mom and pop stores. So who's gonna move in? Bigger corporations that can afford it. What does that make? The price go up, right? Because if Calvin Klein's gonna decide, hey, let's put a nice little surf stop in there, or whatever, maybe a brand that's in surfing related. I'm not too aware of all these brands, but all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's just put in a shop that's gonna sell surfing equipment, or rent them out. We're gonna make a lot of money. And here you can see, let me turn it around. Here you can see the pipe that they're pumping the sand in from. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm telling you, this is what these people got to deal with. And the one other thing that is super crazy with this side of Fort Myers is the delta between rich and poor is really clear in sight. You can really see it. You can see people working on their own houses and they're not half built, and then you see luxury houses with air conditioning 10, 20 feet up and brand new stucco and nice landscaping. So they already redid everything, because once you reach a certain amount of wealth, you're immune to stuff like this. Then it's gonna cost you to rebuild. So what? If you have 10, 20, $30 million in the bank, nobody's gonna care. It's like, oh, I'm gonna spend $30,000 on my vacation house. That doesn't matter to me. I like it, so I'll just do it. And it's just like, it's just money. I'll make it back in the next business deal. And if you have that kind of money, then just do it. If you have a bunch of stocks at best, if you have all these other great places that you have houses in, and you're very wealthy, it doesn't matter to you. It truly, truly doesn't matter. But if you're small mom and pops and you lived here for a very long time, I'll show you that in a little bit, and you're just gonna be like, hey, I have no means to actually pay and get myself off the ground, because I just don't have the money. I moved here 40 years ago I barely afforded it. Now the prices are so high that I just can't do it. And I'm gonna drive by you. I'm gonna drive close to one of these places so you can see it and actually look at it, because it's just crazy. It's just absolutely nuts. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And now, at least the city got $5 for me for my 15, 20-minute video. So, yeah, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, let me take the car again and we'll go and see if we can see some of these places where some of them are nicely rebuilt and some of them are just not. So now you get to kind of see, like, this is what people are dealing with. So this is a house that will probably not be rebuilt from somebody that doesn't have the money. And then as you come down over here, you can see, hey, this is vacation rentals or something. And then you can see, oh, brand new construction, looks nice. So this is probably going to be somebody that has a lot of money, right? Kind of makes sense. Brand new house, looks nice. And then you can kind of see, not every house here is super, super, super wealthy, but hey, you're gonna drive out the locals and have these probably very rich people with investments, with all kinds of other stuff in your community now that used to be locals. They lived here for 20, 30 years, they bought it, and now all of a sudden you're gonna get these rich people from New York and everything, because it's gonna get rebuilt eventually. I kind of came to that conclusion, but it's not gonna be the same vibe. It's not gonna be these people that used to live here that were locals. It's going to be vacation home rentals, Airbnbs, investors, all this other stuff. They're going to say, hey, this risk is going to be worth me taking on if I can rent it out. And so it's going to kind of ruin the place where a whole bunch of people used to do, just live and actually be a contributing member of the area. So this is it. So this was a kind of like a road, and you can see how crazy it is, right? And then here's somebody, smaller house. So this is kind of it.